Welcome into the Fan Speak Network. I am your host, Justin Bruni. Joining me, as always, is my co-host and partner, Mr. Andrew, the TD King, Raub. Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to Degen Dads. Andrew, how we doing? End of the week. How you feeling?
Good, buddy. Yeah, TGIF, as they used to say back in the day. That might date me a little bit. I don't know if anybody still says that anymore, but
we don't.
Yeah, we don't. But
Forgive
I'm
you.
very glad it's Friday, man. Off of work, on to NFL Week 7. What a terrible game we had last night. Hopefully, these games this weekend are a little bit better for viewing pleasure. I mean, a blowout's never fun, so let's get to some good games on Sunday.
I think we're going to be in line for some good primetime games. We got 2 Monday night games. I'm looking forward to those. We got a good Sunday night game. Devontae Adams in primetime. Russell Wilson making his premiere this year in primetime. I like it. I think the primetime games are going to be decent going forward off of Thursday night. Got Chris in the chat saying TGIF Dads. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Remember the ABC network? They used to have like the TGIF lineup. I think Boy Meets World was in there at one point.
Boy Meets World. Sabrina the Teenage Witch, I think, was on there. Yeah. Oh, damn. What was the one where it was not Full House? It's a Step by Step.
Step by Step.
Cody, the one who
weird Brady Bunch of ABC. Yeah. Good stuff. Like that lead off. You want to get into some player props?
Yes, sir.
Who you got up first?
First one up for me, Devon Achane. Over 46.5 rushing yards. I like this because they're coming off the bye. I think Mike McDaniels is going to get this team more prepared than they have been with Tyler Huntley. They're going to be able to move the ball a little bit more on this Colts defense that is middling at best. I mean, the number just feels a little light for Achane. I mean, he could bust this off in 2 plays, right? I just like the number for him. The matchup is good. I think everyone's going to kind of be on Hill to have a rebound matchup here, but I like to, pivot a little bit and go to Achane. So Achane over 46.5 rushing yards.
Tyreek Hill's not getting back to Tyreek Hill numbers until Tua gets back, and that's a fact. Or unless they, trade for a quarterback. But I was talking to Andrew, before the show started. I was like, looking at the numbers this week, looking at the players, I think we're going to have some things in common. So right out of the gate here, Achane don't have the rushing, but that is the receiving yards. 22.5. Colts allowing the 10th most receiving yards to running backs on the season. Achane coming back out of concussion protocol. He's hit this in 3 out of 5 games so far. And one of the games, he obviously left early. He was hurt. So I really like the odds of this. We saw through the first couple of games, he had like back-to-back games of 7+ catches. So he can definitely be that guy for them. And I would actually be more inclined to bet on Achane having a bigger week than Tyreek Hill, because Huntley isn't someone that can throw the ball down the field with volume. Even if he hit Tyreek Hill on 1 home run play, and we were like, oh, thank goodness, you saved our weeks in redraft fantasy, right? It may not be to cash all of the reception props, total yardage, things like that. That's all. So I wouldn't be trying to chase Tyreek Hill this week again with a less than compensation quarterback in Tyler Huntley. Like, there's more to be desired there, unfortunately. Give me Achane over 22.5 receiving yards. Let's ride. Minus 113.
Next up for me, everyone's going to be focused on JJ for a reason, but Jordan Addison back in town. This would be my nailer pick, but switching over to Jordan Addison now, over 47.5 receiving yards.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's got this now a few times. I mean, I know he's been injured, but back in the lineup, the line secondary is not very good. They're very pass funnely. I think that they're gonna try to get in on Sam Darnold a lot, which is going to open up shorter passes, which I think will benefit Addison more than it will JJ. I still think JJ is going to have a monster game as well, but Addison, the number just feels slightly light. Aaron Jones banged up a little bit. They're going to probably use Ty Chandler a little bit more. I just think that Addison's going to see himself a higher target game this week, probably 7-8 targets, somewhere in there. With those targets, he should see over 47.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, I absolutely love that, targeting the Lions secondary. We talked about it last week. They've just been very poor. Top 5 team to target against the pass, 4 receivers, etc. Throw the Commanders in there, throw the Ravens in there as well. some heavy pass funnel teams. The Lions are in that conversation. They looked really good last week against the Cowboys, but we still saw CD Lamb cash the ticket. We saw Jalen Tolbert cash the ticket. It was the early week numbers. I actually wound up losing on one of those tickets. I thought I had him at the pick that I had on the show, and the numbers were off by about 4 yards. So I hit the show pick, but my ticket was about at 45 or 46 yards, and I didn't even notice. So I texted Andrew like right when it hit it. I was like, oh, sweet. And then I looked, I was like, oh, I don't have that. But I was like, didn't I get 42 and a half? He's like, I'm like, no, that's not what happened. Another good pass funnel is the Cleveland Browns secondary. They allow the seventh most fantasy points to the wide receiver position. We talked about it this week on our daily DFS show for Underdog. T. Higgins going back to the well, over 5.5 receptions.
You son of a bitch.
Going up a catch. There it is. I told you I got to him first. I got to him first. He's hit Cosign. He's hit the number in 3 straight games. It's a juicy matchup. Their secondary is beat up. They're losing 2 of their starting safeties, and Newsome and Emerson Jr. to me are just complete opposite ends of the mismatch up against T. Higgins here. I think he can have a very big day. Give me 6 to 7 catches, 80+ yards, and I think he should probably be in the touchdown conversation as well. I would not diminish Jamar Chase's upside this week, but I think that Higgins has a bit of a slight edge in this conversation just because you're going to have Denzel Ward, not necessarily all over Chase, but it's a tougher matchup in general, right? So you have to lend a little bit more upside to Higgins, who's getting the same reception total, 5.5 as Chase, but Chase has the -116, -120 to hit that, right? So you go after the juice, you get the plus money again with T. Higgins, but you have to pay up a catch from the 4.5 that we've been getting the past 2 weeks. So we've both cashed it 2 weeks in a row. He's hit it 3 weeks in a row. I think we should feel good about week 7, T. Higgins.
Yeah, man. Cosign. I had this down. I mean, you're right. Like it is up 1 catch, but I mean, he still should see more than 6 catches in this game.
Mm-hmm.
And you already mentioned it. Their secondary still banged up. Browns suck. I mean, I know Burrow hasn't been very good against the Browns in his career, but the Browns are just really bad right now, like very bad.
The offense is going to continue to put them in really good situations. When I say that them, I mean like the other team's offense. So yeah, in this situation, you have to love the Bengals this week. Give me Joe Burrow. I like him for 2 passing touchdowns. Chase, I would probably feel more comfortable on some like alt totals just because of the matchup, or really just staying away. I just think there's not as much upside as, say, targeting, maybe even one of the running backs. I like going after Chase Brown props this week. Maybe his reception yard total, I think it's at 2 or 3.5. I like that. And then obviously going after T. Higgins, like we mentioned here. I don't think I would touch Gesicki or Chase, but I do like Joe Burrow on the 2 passing touchdowns as well. And I think his yardage might be a little bit higher than it needs to be, because I could see the Bengals getting up early and just, they got not a great defense, but a median defense, and that might be enough to just to slay Watson again this week.
Yeah. My next one up, let's stay in the same game here. David Njoku over 4.5 receptions.
Okay.
Amari Cooper out of town. Jerry Jeudy's the number 1. I think that they're going to be behind in this game. I think Njoku, I think the number is going to rise as the weeks go on. So let's take it while it's still down.
Right.
It's -114. So, I mean, not a ton of juice to have to squeeze there. And I mean, their running game is a little banged up. I mean, it's a perfect scenario to dump it down to David Njoku, and 4.5 feels light for now. So I will take that. David Njoku over 4.5 receptions.
Yeah, I like that, and especially like kind of that early to market call there, because I think you could see him get upwards to like that 6.5 catch total. So this week and next week, I think that's definitely something that we want to stare down a little bit. I'm not sure. Do they have a bye next week? That would be what, week 8? They don't have a week.
I don't think they have a week 8 bye, do they?
No, they definitely don't have week 8. But I would assume it's somewhere around the corner. Do I have the Browns up in front of me? I don't. AFC is blocked. Regardless, I really like the Bengals, like I said, this week. Give me the Higgins, +116 over 5.5. What was the odds on that in Njoku?
-114.
-114. It's not. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Going back to a running back prop, I got Jahmyr Gibbs over 19.5.
Jesus criminy, dude. We're in Sapatico again, brother. Cosign. have
I mean,
that exact same one.
typically, when you see this, like, your buddies are just completely wrong, right? But that's not been the case around here. Oh, he's got it on the phone this week. Mike
Is it
Robb would
gonna
be
come
so
in? Is
proud
it
of
gonna
you.
come in?
It's not
Is it gonna
coming in.
come in? No.
Mike Robb would be so proud of you using technology.
Damn, it's not gonna focus in. Yeah.
I see. I gotta write it down.
Oh,
Nice
yeah, I got it on the P hone.
writing. See all these little stats here talking about how he's gonna hit it.
Yeah, he's went over this 4 out of 5 games.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
will say this: the Vikings allow the 8th fewest receiving yards to running backs, but this backfield, we kind of talked about it. It's very tough to plan for. It's very tough for defensive coordinators to pinpoint what they're going to do on a single given play. And last week, when the Lions could have parked the bus, and you probably could have got some good tape on them, right? Like some good tape on their run game. They were running triple end around reverses with the offensive line.
pure disrespect for the Cowboys. Absolutely love it.
Well, yeah, too, and the guys that are trying to scout against the Lions. That's the kind of the point I'm getting to. Like, how do you scout that team? Seriously. When you're the Vikings this week. Trying to figure out what they're going to do. And the Vikings, they've just been like this really blitz heavy, downhill. Let's go after the quarterback type of defense, and it's worked out for them. But I think they're going to get caught this week with Gibbs, and he's typically clearing this total by a fair amount. I think last week he went 3 for 28. So getting the 19.5 seems very friendly at -113.
Yeah, and you hit it. Another reason I liked it is they do blitz a lot. Like all he really has to do is sidestep that blitz, get out there. Jared Goff dumps it down to him.
It'll be designed because likewise, like there's going to be some good tape on the Vikings. They're coming off of a bye, which could lend their favor. This is a team that is undefeated against the spread. It's just that. Oh, did you lose me?
Yeah. For a second, yes, we did.
I was saying that we've talked about the Minnesota Vikings DVOA scores and how well they've played across the season. A lot of it to me is still toted by their defense, but their offense has been pretty comparable. It's going to be really interesting to see how this game goes because of how well we saw the Lions play last week. Like, is that a real thing? I mean, they're going to be playing again indoors. Not much really changes other than the Vikings offense has been a lot more efficient than the Cowboys so far.
Oh, yeah, definitely by far. Let's check in with the chat. So Tim D says, are Pierre Strong, Foreman duds in DFS this week? I saw Ford out, figured they could maybe be long shots. Probably not worth it though. Yeah, I don't know if I would be stacking either one of those guys in my lineup, to be honest with you.
Yeah, because again, like I just don't know what we're going to get on offense. You just traded away your best player. I mean, Nick Chubb, I hope he could be the best player on this offense, but I mean, now it's David Njoku.
Right out of the gate.
Like,
yeah.
Tough.
Yeah, very tough. Mike Robb in chat, as always. Sup, Mike? Says semi off topic. What days times do you usually feel is the best time to draft BRs each week?
It's probably Sunday right before kickoff.
I mean, I like really honing in starting today on Fridays. I'll do a lot of mine Friday, Saturdays, and then try to get as many in as I can on Sunday. But yeah, I mean, Friday, Saturdays, usually pretty good days. If you feel that the slate, if there's some players that are kind of like questionable and they're not going to cost you a first or second round, I don't mind getting in like Wednesdays and doing some and getting some of those guys that are probably going to come up in the rounds that are a little questionable, like Cooper Kupp, something of that nature. That I feel are going to play, then I'll go in and do some of those so that I get that good value.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm going to click Xavier Legette this week, I guess, round 6.
I mean, you could do worse.
Yeah.
Jamie, as always, in the chat. Sup, y'all? Love Jamie.
Pound it.
He says, nobody should be playing any Browns unless you want to lose.
Damn. Well, there's just some leagues I got to start David Njoku. That's just.
Oh, I'm fine with Njoku.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's not great. not banking on many touchdowns.
Yeah. My next prop up. This is an under. We typically don't play unders, but Amari Cooper just came to town.
Oh.
Keon Coleman has went over this number like 3 of the 6 games they've played, or 4 of them, I think.
He's getting low volume anyways, though.
Yeah, Keon Coleman. Yeah, I think that's going to come down this week. I think they're going to get Cooper involved a little bit. I think they want to run the ball against this Titans defense if they can. Keon Coleman under 25.5 receiving yards.
Wow,
he's been getting
number though.
It is. Yeah, it's low. I just, and he could get this in one play. I mean, this could get blown up easily. But I'm playing that Keon Coleman's kind of going to be a little bit forgotten about in this game with Cooper now coming in. They have Kincaid, who probably won't have a very good game. I expect the run game to be heavily leaned on for the Bills. I mean, Josh Allen is like throwing at a lower. He has like a lower, his lowest, I think, in his career in pass attempts per game. So, I mean, I'm leaning into that a little bit. So
No
this under could
that helps.
Yeah, I mean, Keon Coleman under 25 could get blown up very easily, but I'm going to take that and lean on the other players performing in this game.
Interesting. I'm also on the under Dalton Kincaid. I think he was at 40.5 receiving yards. I'd probably take that under as well. I talked about it on Wednesday. The Titans are allowing the fewest receiving yards and touchdowns and receptions to tight ends. I don't think they've allowed a single touchdown to tight ends yet, but fewest receptions and receiving yards as well. So not a good matchup for Dalton Kincaid this week.
He's at 38.5.
It's come down then. So maybe I just probably stay away. Yeah, if it's going to keep coming down. I mean, or maybe you get it down. Maybe the public can get it down to 35. Take the over. I don't know. 38.
Middle yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Next up, I got Garrett Wilson over 50.5 receiving yards. This is a gift, kind of playing off of Andrew's, new face in a new place narrative there with Amari Cooper shifting over to Davante Adams. They both, Garrett Wilson and Davante Adams, have a receiving yard total of 50.5 receiving yards. That makes no sense. He just got there, and Wilson's been doing it the past 2 weeks. He's had over 100 receiving yards. They shifted and listened to Rodgers. Hey, we need to move him around. We need to get him, all over the field, on the outside, coming out of the slot. This Adams addition should push more slot touches and reps for Garrett Wilson, highlighting a more upside and more value. 50.5 receiving yards. He could easily clear this without Davante Adams there. It's way too low a number, and we're getting a friendlier number because of the addition of Davante, and because he's going to be wheels up. We're seeing the practice tapes. He's getting touchdowns thrown to him. Obviously has an easy connection with Rodgers, but does he play more than 80% of the snaps? I don't know in his first game with the Jets. He may get in there and play, 25% of the snaps, but still have a touchdown, still make a couple big plays, and they could, I guess, win that game. It's Russ Wilson's first night working too this year, so we'll see how the game goes in general. We'll get to that conversation later, but Garrett Wilson's still 4-2 to this number. Very good spot. The addition of Adams, again, we're getting a discount because of it.
My last prop up here, George Kittle over 51.5 receiving yards. Very good matchup for Kittle. The Chiefs are good on defense, but not against the tight ends. He's hit this number 3 out of 5 games. His targets have gone up ever since the beginning of the year. Think that is going to continue. Deebo Samuel is a little banged up, and I don't know. I think they're still going to use him. He's going to play, obviously, but I think they're going to try to go a little light on Deebo, heavier on Kittle and Ayuk this game. And I don't think the run game is going to be very good for the Niners this week either. So I think that Brock Purdy is going to pass the ball a little bit more than expected. So give me George Kittle over 51.5 receiving yards.
Love that. Love that. I am staying with that Jets and Steelers game with the tight end, Pat Freiermuth, over 31.5 receiving yards. He's hit this in half of his game so far with Justin Fields, so 3-3 to the number. He gets Russ Wilson, who's going to be a more pass-friendly QB, going to push the ball down the field more, and Freiermuth is still kind of that second target there right behind George Pickens. So I'm expecting a decent night for Freiermuth. I would actually buy him up to 50 receiving yards. I think he's going to have a pretty decent game, and I also like him to score a touchdown as well.
Nice. I'm done with my player props. So if you got more, keep on rolling there, Trucker.
No, that is it. So quick wrap. I had Freiermuth over the 31.5 receiving yards. Achane over the 22.5 receiving yards. Both of those are even money, minus 113. Gibbs over the 19.5 receiving, minus 113. Higgins plus 116 to hit the 6 catches, or, over 5.5. And then Garrett Wilson over the 50.5, also paying even money.
I had Achane over 46.5 rushing yards, Jordan Addison over 47.5 receiving yards, co-signed the Jahmyr Gibbs over 19.5 receiving yards, Higgins over 5.5 catches, Njoku over 4.5 catches, and Keon Coleman under 25.5 receiving yards.
Love it. Mike Robin in the chat saying, "Oh damn, Bruni was drinking," saying Russ is going to be helpful. I mean, Mike Tomlin says he's going to be helpful, so I mean, or at least George Pickens says he's starting. Technically, Mike Tomlin says he hasn't announced a starter yet, But George Pickens says Russ is starting. So even if
Yes,
Fields
sir.
played, he's hit this again 3 out of or half the games played. So did we want to get into do the anti-correlation picks?
Sure. Yeah, let's build one here. Let me pull my screen up real quick. All right.
Mhm.
So, I think you and I both like Dell this week.
Yeah,
Correct.
mine was the 80 yards though. I don't know if you have any disagreement there.
Well, let's see how it plays out. I kind of like to go a little lighter on that if possible. Let me let me get in here.
So I went lighter with the Worthy pick. I had him for the 60, and then I did Dell for the 80. But you can do Dell for the 70 and still get pretty good odds.
Yeah, so let's see Dell 70 and then the under.
I think the 60 was like minus or even money.
Yeah, under 4.5. I wish that was 5.5.
See that's what 1400 or whatever 1430.
It's 14 to 1. Yep.
Yeah, if you switch to the 80, it's like closer to 25 to 1.
Well, when we go in here and then put in Worthy, let's see, where the hell's that game?
Yeah, Worthy was 3.5 receptions, and that was even money to take the under. Or actually, no, I think it's plus money to take the under.
So under receptions 3.5, and taking him to 60. You said. Let's see what 50 does. Where does that? I mean, 50, 140 to 1.
I'm good with the 60. He has a 50-yard reception. He like a 54-yard reception, a 35-yard reception. Like, if anything, he's getting much bigger chunk plays than Dell is.
It's true. So it's 141 on that. What if we put this 225 to 1 if it's 60? Dell 74.5. So what if so that's 225. I just want to see if we would put Dell at 60 as well. What does that take it to if we middle that a little bit? I just want to see. So that's 141. So it takes it down a lot to do the.
Oh yeah, a lot.
So 225 to 1. All right. So that's
80.
What he said? What about 80? 380 to 1. I mean, listen, man.
I'm good with the
Yeah. So that would be
walk it back.
So Worthy under 3.5, but over 60 yards. Tank Dell under 4.5, but over 70 yards. $10 wins you $2,259. If anybody's interested, it's pretty good parlay to put in there. Just saying.
Yep, I like that. Individually, if you do the Worthy, $20 pays $275, and Dell would pay was about $500, $496, but that's with the 80 yards. So half of a PS5 or a whole PS5. That's take your pick.
Any other guys that you like for that by any chance? Or what about quarterback props? Like any guys to go over like 225 but under 1.5 passing touchdowns?
Nah.
No.
You're getting me into the weeds there.
Getting me into the weeds.
Jesus, bye.
Yeah, there's some guys I could definitely put that together. Maybe I'll put something out on Twitter this week. Could do a QB one. I almost hit one last night. God dang it. If Rattler and Nix could have went over 200 yards, neither one of them had a passing touchdown, so that would have paid nice, but of course not. Fucking blowout ruined that.
You ready to get into touchdowns?
Yes, sir. You want me to go first?
Yep. Who you got?
You already mentioned him. We love him. You said maybe he's going to be an anytime touchdown guy. T. Higgins, give me him again. Let's ride it. Plus 155. They look to him in the red zone. I said this ever since he came back. They look to him in the red zone. Chase is a guy that's going to get stuff between the 20s. When they get inside the red zone, they look for T. Higgins. I can't explain it. You would think it's still Jamar Chase, but it's not. It's T. Higgins. We're still getting plus money on this. Every week that he gets this, it's going to go down and down and down. Keep taking it while it's plus money. Plus 155. T. Higgins. Let's go.
I love that. I'm going to get a little spicier for my my second one. We did have Tim D in the chat saying, do you guys think Deontay goes nuts again this week? He may not play. He's banged up. So Chuba Hubbard, let's ride. Minus 115, getting even money in this one. He's, to me, a safe play based on how much they've used him. He has touchdowns in 3 out of 6 games played. 3 out of his last 4 games, he has over 20 touches. If Deontay doesn't play and they're missing their 2 top receivers and him and Thielen, I like going after Chuba and throwing some sprinkles on Xavier Legette and Jatavian Sanders to score a touchdown this week. It's still the Commanders. I know these guys aren't amazing. They're both rookies, but regardless, they're going to get the snaps. They're going to get some targets. If they can get down to the red zone, if it's not Chuba, it's one of those 2. So if you want to break off, and you want to kind of like triple this off, do like a 3-4 bet between Hubba, Sanders, and Legette. I like it. I kind of like picking, my 2 favorites and just plugging them into one card though. Commanders are bad. Most receiving touchdowns to wide receivers. Not great.
It is not great. No. And for your Chuba love, it does help that Jonathan Allen is now out. That's a big loss for the Commanders front line. I mean, Johnny Newton's gonna slot right in there, and he is hungry for sure. Just saw him talking about his opportunity that he's gonna get now with Jonathan Allen out. The dude looked like happy. Like on his face, it looked like he was about to get in there and fuck somebody up. I loved the way that he took that expression and showed it on his face. Like he's ready. So Johnny Newton, we'll see, but it's obviously not Jonathan Allen, and I think that helps your Chuba love. Obviously, Mike Raub says Bruni always talking about his Chuba on a Friday night.
We're trying to make money.
My man in here, Reek, says, "What's up?" I'm pretty sure he means cashing this week, and
yes.
Yeah, man. So we had week 1 that we cashed, week 2 then cashed, and then we moved on to week 3 and that cashed, and then 4. And then last week we had a really nice week. I mean, Bruni, I don't know if you have the numbers there, but it was what, 19-3?
It was something stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, of course, Reek, we cash him.
Sanders plus 390, Legette plus 230. Again, I don't want to go all in on those picks, but I like throwing some sprinkles and I like leaning heavy in on the Chuba Hubbard at minus 115. I think that the Panthers are playing from behind in this one as well. I'd like to target maybe some Chuba reception props. Speaking of that, we did clear the prop conversation and I didn't bring up the simple fact, the simple truth. We're undefeated. The world can't stop us. The world can't stop him. The Panthers certainly won't do it this week. Austin Eckler receiving yard props. If they give you 24.5 or lower, you bet whatever you want on it and you go to sleep and you forget about it because you've already got money in your pocket. All right. Your 401k, your retirement. This is now your retirement. Austin Eckler receiving yard total. Undefeated. If they get cute with it and they get us over 25 receiving yards, like I said, we buy it down and we plug in reception totals, okay? If they give you 2.5 catches, 3.5 catches, you take that with a lower receiving yard total if he gets the 26, receiving yards or more. You're welcome.
Yeah. Meg's in on it too. Eckler receiver, love it. Can't wait to see what they
release.
He's
still questionable. Like he should play. He should play,
yeah.
But it doesn't like right now. Do you have like full workload vibes when it's a matchup this juicy?
Maybe not full workload vibes, but like I'm saying that he's probably going to get at least 85% of his regular workload. I mean,
okay. But that's still another 15% towards Eckler, who literally, guys, he's clearing his prop on one play. He's done that in multiple weeks. Sure, there have been a couple of weeks where he's needed a couple of catches, but I'm telling you, he's clearing the number on one click, on one dunk.
Yeah, I pretty sure I saw the stat that he leads all running backs in yards per reception. So, cash it.
Who's got 2 thumbs and drafted a fuck ton of Austin Eckler this year?
Bruni, you gotta put it out on Twitter when they release it, just so everyone can see it immediately, so we can all go in and bet that.
I've been checking pretty much like every hour and a half, 2 hours. I check. And they're the only reception yard totals because they don't know about Deontay yet. It's literally like Terry McLaurin, Zach Ertz, and maybe like is it Noah Brown, Dimey Brown, one of the Browns, one of them. I don't know which one. They don't even have Luke McCaffrey in there. Is he hurt or something?
No, I'm not sure what's up with Luke McCaffrey. He's like in and out.
Yeah, they just like gave up on giving us Luke McCaffrey. Howards.
Bay Troy checking in. Bay Troy, appreciate you being on here. Like, subscribe, share with friends. He says Evan Ingram score. I actually don't mind that. Yeah, I don't mind that call out.
I don't mind that at all. I really love the pick, but you know what's really safe is his receiving total at 4.5.
Yeah, I mean, he
I
would
just
see
take his catches
10
at
targets,
4.5.
10 catches. I mean,
Yeah, that's
welcome back.
Safe. So I think you put that in there too, or maybe you put some yards in there, because his numbers are really friendly, and they're playing in London. They stayed there. Speaking of which, I'll get us back on track here. In that game, I see your Evan Ingram and give me Tank Bigsby at plus 105. I mean, whether ETN starts or not, Bigsby's been getting a role when healthy. I have to imagine he's going to be the red zone guy this week. So plus 105 feels really good up against the Patriots, who have allowed the 4th most total rushing touchdowns to running backs. They've been there a week. They're conditioned to the situation. Andrew talks about how the Jags are so amazing in London. Here's the week they get to show it to us, Andrew, because it wasn't last week. Bear down.
It was not. Yeah, bad call, bad process there by your boy. I just figured that they would.
Bear Claw.
I figured that they would handle that trip much better than they did. But you're right. They stayed out there. It's time to go to work. But to his point, Evan Ingram plus 230. So I like the pricing there for Evan Ingram.
Also really good. Yeah, those are really good odds. Why is that so low? Why so
I don't
much
know.
Juice? Like the linebackers are not great. Raekwon McMillan, he ain't keeping up with Evan Ingram. No.
Yeah, good call out there. My next one, anytime touchdown, Rob, minus 165. There, even if he's in there and it's 60% workload, that workload's going to come around the goal line. They need Rob around the goal line.
It's going to come in the rushing defense that's allowed the most rushing touchdowns on the season. So
yeah,
10% is just fine. Like I'm anxious to see how it plays out, because I'm with you. Like Rob would be 100% on the sheet if I didn't know that you were 100% going to have that pick tonight. But regardless, I kind of like Eckler again too. I missed it last week. I missed it when we should have gotten it. I kind of want to go back to him this week. I kind of do.
Like they tried.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, and I'm getting the plus money again. I kind of want to go back, but I'm with you. Like that's my pick. Like right now today, I would take B-Rob 100%.
Yes. And you can, if you put B-Rob and Chuba together, it is plus 213. Okay. Again, I really think both those guys score. So that feels like
we've done that a few times now. We've done that a few times. We've ping-ponged that when the running backs, and Chuba's been the pong typically. So
yeah. So,
all right.
How many have you given out? I've given out 2. I feel like you gave out like 40.
I've given out like a lot. So Tank, Chuba, and I mean, again, like Tank and Chuba are really the 2 that I like the most. Sanders and Leggett are kind of the sprinkles. Like they're good odds. It's a great matchup. I just don't want to full lean in 1-2 units, whatever. Like I don't want to fully lean into that. I don't have that same comp. I don't have that Austin Eckler level confidence. You know what I'm saying? Those are sprinkles.
My next one up, Mr. Not a computer, but last name Dell. Tank Dell, plus 170. Everyone's going to be on Diggs. Diggs gets targeted. But we saw Dell score last week. Pretty sure we see Dell score this week.
Yep.
This game's a very good environment for offense. They're going to pass the ball. They're going to have to pass the ball because they're going to need to keep up with the Packers. I mean, Packers are scoring at a very good rate. It just feels right. It feels right. Tank Dell is the man when Nico is out. And Nico's still out last time I checked. Tank Dell, plus 170. Very good price. Like this a lot.
Like points in that game. I'm going to stay right there with you. Give me Jaden Reed, plus 125. Texans allowing the 4th most receiving touchdowns to receivers. A little bit of upside there. We saw Reed get a touchdown before leaving that game early last week, and he still had 6 catches. So when he's on the field, he is their primary number 1. Like it's definitely been a clear, change in narrative from last year, where there was just like everybody's kind of touching the ball. Romeo Doubs had a good game, but everybody else had to be out. Like everybody had to be hurt. So he could be that guy. I think with Reed back and when he's healthy, he is the clear number 1 in this offense. He's shown out way more than the others. And just everybody else is just kind of consistently getting hurt. I know that Reed left that game early, but he's carrying no injury designation. All the points you had said for Dell's side of it, Same thing here. A lot of points, a lot of opportunities in this game. And like I mentioned, Texans secondary, not amazing so far.
Reed and Dell together, 4.5 to 1. Let's go. That's right. My next one up. Talked about him in the props about going over his rushing yards. Think he also gets there with a touchdown. Devon Achane plus 155. Like the number. They're going to give it to him. I think that this does though have to come on an outside the 20 run, because I think that they are going to start leaning back in on Mostert around the goal line. If you want to switch that to Mostert, if you don't want to take the Achane breakout touchdown, let me see what Mostert is sitting at right now for a touchdown. I think it was roughly a little bit more.
I would still take.
Oh my God, Mostert actually plus 300 right now.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of on par. Like, I would actually still expect Achane to score over him. I think those odds are appropriate, just because they're also not going to be down there a lot. And I think that Achane still gives you that. It's kind of like that argument. Do you have the juice, right? And Mostert's been pretty good, but he's also been banged up. He hasn't had the reps. He's not fully into like the midseason shape so far, in my opinion. And I think Achane still has that burst, kind of like that conversation between McLaughlin and Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams had a pretty good night last night. Definitely had some juice, but we've seen McLaughlin get like red zone touches ahead of him, going like that's kind of weird. Like you would think it'd be opposite. Like he's the guy in between the 20s, and Javonte would take things in close, and it's just goes to this situation. And I think that, again, Achane just has the edge there. So I think that's priced appropriately.
Yeah. Mike Robb wanted to know what. Shit.
That's too much. Like, do you believe in Tyler Huntley that much, Mike Robb? Like,
yeah, but I mean, Hill again. Like, I think McDaniels is going to scheme up ways to get Hill involved as well. And this could come on a handoff to him. But Mostert and Hill together for anytime touchdowns, 10 to 1. 10 to 1, Mike. Reek asking about a couple players here. What about Joe Mixon? You in on Joe Mixon this week?
We like Joe Mixon, yeah. He's going to be in the
I'm fine with that
this week. I'm good with Mixon.
Yeah, I do not mind Mixon. They are giving him the ball when they're in scoring distance, so I'm fine with that.
Back asking about Ray McLeod. I had Ray McLeod last week. It did not work out, and he had a much better matchup. So, ouch. Actually, the Seahawks. That's a pretty fair matchup.
Mixon minus 120, and then Reek also says J.K. Dobbins. Yes, cosign J.K. Dobbins as well. I do like that. J.K. Dobbins.
I probably like J.K. Dobbins more than Joe Mixon.
Dobbins minus 155 right now, so I also like that play.
Yeah,
this could be a week where you could play a lot of running backs to get touchdowns.
Potentially.
Do you have any more? Yeah, so do I. One. Go ahead.
Chris Godwin minus 110.
They finally put it to minus, huh?
Yeah, they got smart. Yeah. Well, Mike Evans carrying an injury designation this week, so we'll see if he plays, giving a little bit more upside to Godwin. Ravens been a passing funnel, no different than the Commanders. They are tied for the most receiving touchdowns allowed to receivers on the season. Godwin's been great. Again, this is a situation, I don't know the odds. I didn't write those down, but Jalen McMillan, Sterling Shepard looked good when he was filling in. There might be something there. I would probably lean on the Jalen McMillan odds a little bit more, just because he's been more included with like first team reps. But I like Godwin the most at minus 110. And like I said, maybe sprinkle a little Jalen McMillan. I'm going to stay off the running backs this week. I want to see what they do.
My last one, Jettas getting the touchdown. We already mentioned how you can definitely pass the ball on the Lions. I mean, he is currently minus 120. That feels like a juice that I'm willing to play a little bit here for JJ. They're going to definitely try to get him a touchdown. I mean, there's JJ is always live for a touchdown at minus 120. I'll pay that little bit of juice to go ahead and cash a ticket because JJ scoring, baby.
Yeah, that's an absolute layup. Again, we talked about that secondary, how bad they are, allowing the fourth most fantasy points to the wide receiver position. Just a consistent flow of production coming for receivers there. We do have something to look forward to, off of last week, if they can repeat that performance off of Dallas, moving on to the Vikings. But it'll be interesting. What about some of Bay's picks here in the chat? I gave a wag of my finger to Calvin Ridley. I like a smirk at Ray McLeod, but I don't know if I'm fully invested. I got burned last week on a juicy matchup. I just feel like there's weapons there. Kyle Pitts is rolling a little bit. London's been scoring touchdowns. Bijan's got a really good matchup. Algiers getting a lot of usage. I think we're chasing there. And again, the matchup last week was really juicy. I think those were the only two that he had dropped. We already talked about
I mean, Ridley's interesting just because he's plus 390, but I don't love it.
No.
Yeah, I don't love it. Ray McLeod
though, to mess with me because I love those odds.
Ray McLeod, that's a long shot, man. I don't know. I'm okay with it if you want to sprinkle a little bit. Let's see what he's at.
I'd rather pick someone really good to get 2 than for Ray McLeod to get 1. You know what I mean?
It does feel cute. Like Ray McLeod is plus 250. So not as long as a long shot as I thought.
I would feel better about taking Terry McLaurin to score another 2 touchdowns in the season.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm staying off Ray there. Feels cute. Any more for you? No,
we can jump into the spread picks.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Smash the like button, share the video, tell your friends, tell your family,
yes, sir.
tell your neighbors.
And if you do want all the official fan speak picks, not just Bruni and I, but Meg, Spread, Tyler, Steve, go over to our Dub Club. I'm going to drop it at the bottom here. Dub Club. All you got to do is go over to HTTPS, all that at the bottom, dubclub.win/r/megs08dfs/ yeah, we know it's wordy. It's wordy, but it's worth it. All right. Head on over. Let us know if you sign up. We appreciate you. Helps us keep going. Helps us get here on Friday night so Bruni can talk about Chubbs. But yeah, we appreciate every single one of you getting in the Dub Club. Let's go. Bruni, your first one.
Can you pull up the board?
Oh, no, I can't.
I believe it's Falcons -3.
Let's see. Falcons -3 at -102.
Yeah, defense has actually been pretty solid. Been very good up against the run. Seattle not so good up against the run, allowing the 3rd most rushing yards to running backs. Bijan is in a good spot here. Algiers in a good spot. And I think that lends favor to the Falcons, who have also been very competent passing the ball down the field. Kirk's looking very comfortable, very good in this offense. They're playing at home, getting a West Coast team coming to the East Coast. You're getting the 1 o'clock start. So West Coast time, these guys are playing pretty much in the morning. I like that. Give me the Falcons there. I like the money line as well, but I will easily take the -3. Kirk and them have also just been very good in Atlanta.
Do I dare? The Bengals have not been very good against the Browns. The Browns are at home.
What are the Browns right?
What?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no. I was going to say, give me the Cincinnati Bengals -5.5 on the road. They're going to roll the Browns, man. I mean, their narrative's going to switch. Joe Burrow's going to own the Browns this week. He hasn't, but he will. -5.5, -108. Let's go.
The narrative right now today should be that they're going to burn them. I mean, the spread's at 5.5. I would take them up to 7 or 8, to be honest with you. So I co-signed the 5.5. That was one of my picks as well. The Browns are just so bad. They got rid of one of their best offensive players in Amari Cooper. They have Nick Chubb coming back. So yeah, cool. They're going to sell some tickets this weekend, but it's not going to be pretty. Like, Nick Chubb isn't just going to turn into what he was overnight. They're still going to have to ease him back in. It's criminal. It's criminal if the Browns just throw him out there in his first game and give him 20+ touches. Like, what are you thinking? I'm plugging him into my fantasy lineup because, hey, I've been waiting. I'm doing it. I've put in my time. Fall into the end zone, please, sir.
What do you think the Brown is in his career, or Burrow is versus the Browns in his career?
1 and something, I'm guessing.
1 and 5.
Yeah.
1 and 5. He has to know that, right? It's been talked about. He coming out firing. Now he does have
Deshaun Watson doesn't know anything about it, and that's the problem. Is Deshaun Watson doesn't know where he is when he's on the field. So I think that's the bigger concern in this game. The reason why the Bengals can easily cover the spread is because Watson is trash. The offense isn't just going to get better overnight, exiting Amari Cooper and entering Nick Chubb. It's just not been a good team to target for anything, really. I mean, early we were getting some Deshaun Watson, rushing yards. Those are some nice props. Well, that little bit lasted. That's over now. I'm completely out on this team. I mean, tank, rebuild. I mean, have Watson assassinated, maybe. I don't know how you're going to get out of that contract. Sounds like corporate espionage.
What do you got next?
Lions. Oh, no, they're a dog pick. Sorry. Peeping. Just scroll the board for me, because usually I have mine up, but my internet's being lame. Los Angeles Rams -6.5. I think this, again, is a miss number. I like them a lot. Kyron Williams is going to have a big day. The offense is just not there for the Raiders. Got rid of Devonta Adams, DJ Turner, Trey Tucker, Brock Bowers. It won't be enough. And they have 2 running backs in Alexander Madison and Amir Abdullah. Like, you can't trust that up against the Rams. I don't care how bad the Rams have been on defense. They're going to get a turnover in this game, maybe 2. And I expect their defense to also potentially score a touchdown. You talked about Andy Reid coming off a bye in the past. What about Sean McVay? Pretty smart guy. Going up against an elementary offense in the Raiders and a very median defense in the Raiders.
Does it worry you that we're supposed to take the 6.5, not lay the 6.5?
No, it doesn't. The last time you told me to do this, it was the Vikings and who was it on Sunday morning?
The Jets? I remember the Jets.
You got smoked on that, dude. Just stand down. Stand down.
Okay. Speaking of the Jets, I will take the Jets -1.5, -110. Devontae Adams in town.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams together. Very good.
I think it's about chasing the anti-Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson hasn't started a game, and yet he's walking onto an offense and a team that has a winning record. Like, they've been good. And to me, I don't understand it. So if the assumption is that Wilson's going to play, then I think the Jets are a great pick right now, because I think you get worse odds for them to win once they release who the actual starter is to the public. I mean, we're all under assumption it's Wilson, with the George Pickens, leak, whatever, the locker room leak from Pickens. But regardless, I think that once that announcement does come, they could come up to like -180, -200.
Yeah, man. I mean, the Steelers defense is very good. So it does slightly worry me that they're going to really get after Rodgers. But I mean, Adams Adams, you got Lazard still, you got Wilson. I don't know. It feels like this is a tough matchup for the Steelers. They're really going to have to play amazing defense for this to not cash.
It's tough to play well on defense when you play up against quarterbacks that pass a ton. And Rodgers has like 130 pass attempts through his last 3 games. So they're going to pass the ball a lot, most likely in this game, because they're either going to be, I don't think they'll be trailing, but I think that they're going to be in this game and they're going to have to continuously push the ball. I don't think this is a situation where you can just easily run the ball against the Steelers. So I think the passing game is going to have to get to work. And that's exactly why you brought in Devonta Adams. I mean, no excuses, Aaron. Respectable defense. You got all the weapons in the world now. You got Breece Hall, one of the best running backs in the league. They're barely using them. It's crazy what's going on over there.
What's your next one?
Scroll down. Scroll down. Keep going past the Rams for sure. I guess I'm getting ready to get into the dogs.
Okay. I got one more. And I know, and this is why I asked you about it, because I'm about to, pull the cardinal sin here of, take the Texans. Yeah. I mean, I'm taking the 2.5, not laying the 2.5. I'm taking the Texans. A good pick.
I mean, there's short dogs, they're small dogs, so I mean, it's not.
Yeah, and it's even money too. I like that there's no juice to pay. So I'll take the Texans +2.5 +100.
Yeah, no, getting the +100 is nice. Playing those mind games with those odds, playing those mind games.
Yes, sir. All right, dogs.
Because
I mean, you
trying to think who to start with. I like the. Let's go.
Oh, you want to go Bucks? Okay.
Yeah, I'll go Buccaneers. I'll go to Monday night. So getting the Ravens at home, like I've mentioned, the Ravens secondary has been awful, complete pass funnel. And I think that while Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson can, keep the team afloat, I think that their defense is going to be a glaring hole in this one, whether Mike Evans plays or not, because the Buccaneers have been one of those teams that have not been shy about their play calling, pushing the ball down the field, playing with a lot of rhythm. They don't slow things down for the sake of slowing things down. So I like the way that they're playing and at the pace that they're playing. Give me the Buccaneers at home plus money, small dogs plus 160, and they are a 3.5 point underdog. I will also easily take them on the spread at plus 3.5. But you can get a lot of options in that game to build a profitable card, whether it's, getting the Buccaneers up to like plus 7 and like a Derrick Henry touchdown, or the Buccaneers plus 7 and, the Godwin touchdown I mentioned earlier. Obviously, Godwin getting better odds, minus 110 to Henry's minus 195, almost minus 200. It's crazy. No, not sure how I feel about the total, but I really like the Buccaneers at home in this one. We've seen the Ravens, have some duds. I talked about them losing to the Raiders. Gardner Minshew won that game. He's somehow on the bench now. Aiden O'Connell looked like garbage last week. Makes no sense to me. So yeah, I like the Bucs this week. Give me Baker Mayfield down there in Tampa Bay, playing for the Bay. Hurricane relief. Monday night. They just went through that whole thing. Playing for the city. Let's go Bucs. Arr.
All right, Bruni, sing it with me. Andy Reid off the bye. Andy Reid off the bye. Andy Reid off the bye. Chiefs. Chiefs, a dog. Patrick Mahomes as a dog, 11-1. Hasn't happened a lot. Patrick Mahomes versus the Niners in his career, 4-0, 2 Super Bowl wins against them, has completed 68% of his passes, averaging 364.5 yards per game, 11 touchdowns, 4 interceptions for 104.5 passer rating in those games. I mean, dude, when they're a dog, they roll. They have the Niners number. I mean, maybe I'm crazy here. Maybe the Niners are just really going to get up for this game and kill the Chiefs, but I don't see it, man. All the betting stuff tells me take the Chiefs here as a dog. I will take them plus 108. Chiefs own the Niners.
Taxes, Patrick Mahomes as a dog. You take it every single time you can get it. I mean, plus 108. It's a small dog. The points, take the money line, cosign. This is another one of my dog picks. This was one that I assumed that we would agree on. And my next one would be the Lions. And that was another one I assumed that we were going to agree on.
Yes, sir. Cosign plus 110. Good matchup for the Lions, I think. I think
they might be too big to fail now. I mean, you know what I mean? Like that performance last week was something crazy. It was like watching, remember Friday Night Lights? The team from Houston, they wore like all red. It was like watching that team like beat just the dog shit out of somebody. You know what I mean? Like it was hilarious. Like that lineman did what? That who just passed the ball? Sam Laporta, 1 catch, touchdown. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, that's exactly how I had it drawn up. Oh, look, 1 billion more points. Oh, more interceptions. Dak Prescott not hitting our 1.5 passing touchdown total. Not cool.
I know. What a bastard.
But again, this week, you have a good opponent in the Vikings. Sam Darnold's been good. The defense has been amazing. But I think this is going to be a tougher test for them. They're playing again indoors. I believe it is in Minnesota. But to me, I mean, they just won in Dallas on the road. If they were playing outdoors and there was a bit of a different scenario, some adjustments to be made, I think there might be something here. But they don't have that advantage this week, in my opinion, the Vikings. You go from indoor to indoor to indoor the past 3 weeks. So the Lions kind of having that advantage, getting this schedule, with the early dome teams as well as many home games.
Yeah, man. And last week we agreed on 2 of our picks pretty strongly, and those both hit. We're agreeing pretty strongly on these as well. So I'm assuming both these going to hit as well. Meg in the chat saying that she likes Dolphins and Pats as 2 dogs here. Dolphins plus 134 on the money line. Pats plus 220 on the money line. Again, visit Dub Club.
The secondary for the Dolphins has been really good, and I think they have the advantage. I can't believe the Colts are going to start Anthony Richardson. It makes no sense to me. I get it. He's your guy. He's your franchise. You spent the draft capital on him. You want to win games. I'm telling you, they're going to need Joe Flacco. That's the only thing that concerns me about this game is the wild card factor. Is Anthony Richardson going to stay in the whole time? That's the only thing. Like if we get Joe Flacco out there, he beat a competent defense in the Titans. I would trust him to do it again up against the Dolphins. As long as you can stray him off, then I think, yeah, the Dolphins are in the clear here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See the Pat in London? Yikes! Yeah, I can't bet a winner there. I won't dare challenge the Jags per Andrew.
Do we want to put together a parlay here? I'd like to start doing this. We did it last week. Almost cashed the ticket that we built with the fans and ourselves. I think we should build another one. How we're gonna play this is we're gonna put $10. We're gonna put $10 on it, and if it hits, we're gonna give out a $25 free play to somebody in the chat. So let's put together a nice little parlay here, and I'll put it in, and then it'll tweet it out so everyone can see the slip. But Bruni, let's get one from you. Anything, prop, ATS,
I gotta go to
touchdown.
I gotta go to the Eckler pick. Well, we can't do it right
we
now.
Can't.
So
Yeah. Well, hold on. Let's just see if they've put it out.
They didn't. They won't do it till game day, Andrew. I've been following this for weeks. They will not put it out till game day.
Nothing.
Noah Brown. See, I was right. One of the Browns.
All right. So pivot off that.
I'm going to Gibbs, the 19.5.
All right. Gibbs. People in the chat, start putting in here picks that you guys like. Doesn't matter what it is. Prop, ATS, anytime touchdown, dog, whatever. We're going to throw a few of the ones that we like in this parlay. So you said Gibbs. Let's go receiving.
I'm scrolling the chat too to see some other picks in case no one wants to add any.
I am going to go. Oh, man. Which one do I like the most? I mean, I really like the Gibbs one too. That's a great play. Let's go.
Well, I've got more great plays for you, buddy. How about the T. Higgins receptions?
I mean, yeah, I like that too. I'm trying to think. I kind of want to put in a
touchdown. I've got plenty. They're all here.
Kind of want to go with an anytime touchdown.
Link Meg in the chat saying Devontae Tutty.
Devonta Tutta.
Oh, okay. To steal Allen Lazard touchdowns? Is that why he's here? They know that Allen Lazard can score touchdowns, right? I mean, he's doing it.
Devontae plus 165 added. Like it, Meg. I'm gonna go. Damn. Yeah, you know what? You're
T-Law over 200 passing yards. Is that an alt number?
I mean, yeah, it would be. I would assume so.
I mean, I wouldn't make any assumptions about that offense. I mean, they played the Bears last week. He could have a huge discount, Andrew.
Yeah, let's go. I do like Higgins a lot. Yeah, let's.
Higgins receptions is paying plus money too.
Yeah, let's put that in there. All right.
Neo says alt passing. Yeah,
alt passing
for T-Law.
Passing T-Law minus 310 for 2 hundo. What does that do for us? It takes us to 9 to 13.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah, that's not bad.
We'll take it.
What else we got?
Thanks for moving.
We got. Yeah, we got 4 in here. Let's get 2 more. Let's go to an even 6.
I've got other picks in the chat I can bring up, like the Evan Ingram tutty if you want to go after. That one was one that we liked. Dobbins touchdown we liked. Did you give out Njoku? You gave out Njoku catches? I like Higgins.
I did. Yeah. The Dobbins. I like that one. Let's take the Dobbins. That takes us 22 to 1 right now. Let's get one more in here. What else we got?
I'm gonna write these down. I'm gonna say who's in here. So Neo 83.
Yeah, we got Tim D, Mike Raub, Jamie.
Who was Mike's pick?
Oh no. He didn't pick one, but he's still in the chat.
No, I was trying to see who gave out picks.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got you.
Yeah. So Neo
Reek gave out the J.K. Dobbins.
Okay, and Neo was the T-Law. Okay.
Yeah. Where's Mike Raub? Mike Raub, let's hear from you, buddy.
What are you doing, Michael?
He's putting the kids' bed. Yeah. Let's grab one more.
Neo says Barkley anytime TD. It's kind of, I mean, I'm into it, but it's kind of, it's a little overplayed. It's already Friday.
Yeah, what's that? What's that at? -170. Ooh, big juice on it. I mean, I do think that hits, but
-1 cent. No, we're not. No, don't have that.
big juice there.
That was Devontae, and you were Higgins.
Yeah, I really wish the Eckler props were out. I mean, I like B-Rob to score a touchdown, but that's, -165. That's just as big as Barkley.
I sincerely feel like the number for Gibbs is no dissimilar to the upside of Eckler. So I think we should feel good about it.
Last one.
Like
I mean, we could
Gibbs
do
number could at least be 24.5.
We could do Achan. If we want to do another anytime touchdown, I mean,
Meg brought back Chuba. I mean, Chuba was one of my picks, but I kind of like just taking B-Rob if we're gonna do a touchdown from that game. I think B-Rob's. I mean, although if they get, could you imagine McNichols killing us?
Oh man, yeah.
Could you imagine that? I mean, I still feel really confident, and it's -165. But I mean, again, I got all sorts of options here. I mean, I like the Tank Bigsby touchdown, like I said. Godwin touchdown, I love. Reed touchdown, I love. Garrett Wilson yards. I mean, I can go on and on. Achane receiving yards. I don't bring out the so-so picks, buddy. I weed out the bad. All right. I almost gave out Jalen Hurts over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Couldn't do it. I think it's an okay pick. I don't think it's a great pick.
Do we want to throw Godwin in there?
Yeah, I'm good with that. Or if you just want Henry, if you just want to smash, I mean, it's still an awesome matchup up against running backs. Or both, even.
Yeah, I mean, that does take us from 22 to 34 to 1 if we put Henry in there.
What is Godwin?
22 to 44. So
both are pretty solid. So
we could do Henry, B-Rob, and Barkley.
You're just asking for trouble.
Am I?
Know how it works.
I know how this works.
I don't think it's a Justice Hill week, but I think somebody else could just. Maybe it's McNichols back to the well. Put them all in.
If we add Henry in there, if we have B-Rob and Chuba in there, it's 111 to 1.
And then what if you put in Godwin?
And if we put in Godwin, $219 to 1.
Whoa! And what if you put in Jaden Reed?
Okay, all right, okay. Relax there, Tonto. So we could do 8.
Fire away 6, 7, 8. I don't care. I mean, 6.
We could do 8. And any qualms with anybody on B-Rob, Chuba, Gibbs over 19.5 rushing yards, Devontae touchdown, Higgins over 5.5 receptions, T-Law 200 yards, J.K. Dobbins touchdown, Henry touchdown.
I just want to mention that Reek and Neo 83 were the only ones to give out picks from the chat. This is mostly our parlay.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right. So 10 to win.
I love the participation. Let's get participation going here now, boys. Let's get it going here now.
So 10 will win us $1,113.53. Like I said, we will be giving out a free parlay to somebody that was in the chat. Bruni.
It'll be Neo or Reek for participating.
Pretty good one here. So I will put this in then, and I'll tweet this out here for everybody to see. Anything else for? Oh, you know what? And also, if you haven't already, check back in for the anytime touchdown treasure chest. We'll be coming out tomorrow, Bruni.
Yes, sir.
All right, tomorrow. Check back in with us on either one of our Twitters. Our Twitter handles are right below our faces here. You could also check it out on Meg's. She will be having it out, and of course on FanSpeak's Twitter page as well. Check it out. Let us know if you're going to tail, retweet it, like it. Appreciate every single one of you. If you haven't already, subscribe to the network. If you're over on Twitter watching right now, come on over to YouTube. Join us in the chat. subscribe to the network, hit the little dingy notification bell so you're notified 30 minutes before we're about to go live. Like this video for us as well. Bruni, anything else for the good people before we let them get back to their degenerate lives?
Don't eat yellow snow and don't put Twinkies on your pizza. Let's go.
Love it.
Take care. Be well. Be good. If you can't be good at it. We'll see you guys.